So this is ixli1, imaginary numbers. Hopefully you're watching the video on this. It's actually not a hard lesson, it's really not. But you're supposed to rewrite the expression below as a complex number. So here's the gist behind that. I is defined to be, I wish it would not autocorrect me. I is defined to be the square root of -1. So let's go back and look at this example that I have here. It is the root of -56. You know, it'd actually be quicker if I'd write this stuff out. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Daddy, why does this
So let me open up my image mate here.
Why does
that chair turns because that chair was meant to turn.
No, why does it sit back?
Because it was meant to be sitting back.
Did somebody build it like that?
Yes, somebody built it like that. My son Emmett is over here helping me.
What?
So the question was root -56.
But to look at something so it goes back.
Yes, Emmett, so they can recline.
Is in a way.
I don't know why I'm recording right now. Yes, Emmett, so you can go back and be comfortable. So I was defined to be the root of -1. So here's what I do. I realize that this is the root of a -1 times 56. Because I see the root of the -1, I know it is the imaginary root of 56. So there's that part. Next up on this is simplification of radicals. I'm just running stuff through my head here. This radical will simplify. 56 is 4 times 14. So I can rewrite this as I times the root of 4 times 14. Everybody's supposed to know what the root of 4 is. The root of 4 is 2, so 2i root 14. That's radical simplification. So back to ixli, see if I'm right. 2i square root 14. You gotta go to middle school? All right, I'll tell you. I'll tell him. Have a good night.
I want to give her a hug.
You already gave her a hug. She's leaving.
I opened that door.
Emmett is being very huggy today. All right, so the next one up here on ixli was the root of -76. Now, what I do when I see it's a root of a negative, I automatically know it's imaginary. It is the imaginary root of +76. When I look at 76, I like to think of being divisible by 4. A lot of these are divisible by 4. So this is the imaginary root of 4 times 19. And some of you kids are going to have to play around with a calculator. The reason I'm making you memorize your squares. If you know your squares, you know your square roots. But you might have to play with the number 76 divided by 4, something you take the square root of, and it's 19. So the root of that 4 would be 2. So 2i root 19. Final answer. All right, I'm going to jump up a level because nothing in here is too terribly interesting. Well, I just jumped up a level and it's the same question. The negative root of -19. There's not much you can do with that. The negative root of -19. That does not make it a positive because of where that negative symbol is. What it is the negative imaginary root of 19. And 19 doesn't have any factors that you can take the square root of, so it's done. -I root 19. Wonderful. And it looks to me like there's not a whole lot going on here. This one's kind of interesting, and it's what we call a complex number, 2 minus the root of -88. 2 minus the root of -88. First off, that is a imaginary root. 2 minus the imaginary root of 88. 88 is definitely divisible by 4. It's also divisible by 11, but that doesn't gain you much. It's divisible by 8, doesn't gain you much. Looks like a lot of these IXL things are centering around the number 4. 88 is 4 times 22. 22 reduces down to 2 and 11, things you cannot take the square root of. So 2 minus 2I root 22. That'll get it. It doesn't get any simpler than that. I really hope that this thing pulls away from things involving the root of 4. Great job, Milbrath. There's the root of negative 64. That is 8i. It's imaginary. The root of 64 is 8. 8i. Ta-da! The root of negative 1. That's the definition. I. Terrific. 20 minus the root of negative 77. The root of 77 is 7 times 11. So it doesn't simplify. Its factors are... Did I make a typo? Oh, I forgot something, didn't I? I didn't see the negative symbol there. Bummer. Got it. This would be 7i all day long, and so forth. So this thing doesn't actually get too terribly difficult. So we'll probably set a goal of 80 on it. Be done with it.